Let's dive into understanding workplace safety, a crucial aspect of our daily work life. First, we're going to talk about the difference between hazards and risks. A hazard is anything that has the potential to cause harm, like a wet floor or exposed wiring. A risk, on the other hand, is the likelihood that the hazard will actually cause harm. Our next step is to identify indicators of these hazards and risks. Look for signs like frequent incidents or complaints, which can help us pinpoint problem areas. Once we've identified these, it's essential to apply contingency measures. These are strategies and actions we take according to Occupational Safety and Health, or OSH, procedures to mitigate these risks. And finally, appreciating the importance of safety and health can't be overstated. A safe workplace not only protects us physically but also contributes to a positive work environment. By understanding and implementing these practices, we create a safer and healthier workplace for everyone. Occupational Safety and Health, or OSH, is more than just a set of rules, it's a planned system designed to keep you safe and healthy at work. Think of OSH as a proactive approach. By recognizing and identifying potential hazards and risks, we can prevent illnesses and injuries before they occur. This isn't just about following procedures, it's about creating a safer working environment for everyone. As we continue, we'll delve into specific hazards and how we can manage these effectively. Let's talk about the concept of a hazard. A hazard is essentially a situation that has the potential to harm the health and safety of people. It's important to recognize that hazards can come in many forms: physical, chemical, biological, or even psychological. Understanding the nature of hazards is the first step in preventing workplace injuries and illnesses. As you think about hazards in your own work environment, consider how identifying them can lead to safer practices for everyone involved. Let's delve into the concept of risk. When we talk about risk, we're referring to a potential condition that arises from a chosen action or activity. Pause for a moment to let this sink in. It's important to understand that risk isn't just about the presence of a hazard. Rather, it's about the likelihood and severity of the harm that might occur from that hazard. So, when assessing risk, we're essentially evaluating both the probability of something happening and the impact it could have. This distinction is crucial in any environment, whether it's in the workplace or even daily activities. Remember, managing risk effectively is about making informed choices to protect ourselves and those around us. Are we responsible of our own health and safety in any industries? Health and safety procedures are everyone's responsibility, no matter the industry. It's crucial to actively engage in identifying hazards in your work environment. Once you've identified these hazards, your next step is to assess how dangerous they are. This isn't just about recognizing something as a risk but understanding its potential impact. Finally, you must take action. Either eliminate the hazard entirely or modify the risk it presents to ensure a safer workplace. Remember, each of us plays a role in this ongoing commitment to safety. Let's delve into the 3 essential steps for managing health and safety. First, spot the hazard. This involves being vigilant and actively looking for any potential hazards in your workplace. It's about being proactive, so take a moment to observe your surroundings. Next, assess the risk. Once you've identified a hazard, consider how likely it is to cause harm and how severe that harm could be. This is where we weigh the potential dangers. Finally, make the changes. This step is about taking action to eliminate the hazard or reduce the risk it poses. Whether that's through modifying work practices or implementing new safety measures, it's crucial to act on what we've identified. Can you spot the hazards present in this workplace? Try to find all the hazards in this image. Now, let's talk about some common workplace hazards. These are things we might overlook in our daily routines, but they can pose real dangers if not addressed. First, consider frayed electrical cords. They may seem harmless, but they can lead to electrical shocks. Always check cords regularly and replace them if necessary. Next, think about boxes that are stacked unsecurely. It's easy to assume they're stable, but if they fall, they could cause serious injuries. Ensuring proper stacking and storage is crucial for safety. Lastly, noisy machinery is a hazard that can lead to hearing damage over time. Wearing appropriate ear protection and maintaining machinery can help prevent this risk. How many of these hazards have you noticed in your own workplace? Give the audience a moment to reflect. Let's remember, being aware of these issues is the first step toward creating a safer environment for everyone. Assessing risk is a crucial step in ensuring safety in the workplace. It involves two main considerations: the likelihood of harm occurring, and the potential severity of that harm. First, we need to think about how probable it is that a hazard could cause harm. Is it something that's likely to happen daily, once in a while, or is it a rare occurrence? Next, consider the severity of the potential harm. Could it result in a minor injury, or is there a possibility of something more serious? By taking the time to assess these factors, we can prioritize our actions and allocate resources where they're needed most. This proactive approach not only helps protect ourselves but also those around us. Now, let's discuss the specific questions we should ask ourselves when we identify a hazard. When you notice a hazard, it's important to pause and assess the risk effectively. First, how likely is it that the hazard could harm me or someone else? This is about gauging the probability of an accident occurring. Second, how badly could I or someone else be harmed? Here, we're considering the potential severity of the harm that could occur. These questions help us to understand the risk level and prioritize which hazards need immediate attention. Remember, assessing risk is about being proactive. By asking these questions, you're taking a vital step towards ensuring safety for yourself and others around you. In our workplace, safety is everyone's responsibility. But it's crucial to recognize that ultimately, it's your employer's duty to address and fix hazards. Sometimes, though, you'll encounter simple hazards that you can safely resolve on your own. For instance, if you notice something on the floor, you can pick it up to prevent a potential trip hazard. This kind of proactive action helps keep our environment safer for everyone. However, it's important to emphasize that you should never put yourself or others at risk when addressing these hazards. Always assess the situation first and ensure your actions are safe. Remember, taking these small steps can make a big difference, but when in doubt, always reach out for assistance. Let's focus on what actions you should take to ensure a safe working environment. First, always ask your supervisor for instructions and training before using any equipment. This not only protects you but also prevents potential accidents. Second, when it comes to moving or lifting heavy objects, don't hesitate to ask for help. It's important to work smart and safeguard yourself from unnecessary strain or injury. Finally, if you ever feel that a work practice might be dangerous, communicate this to your supervisor. Your input could prevent a potential hazard and contribute to a safer workplace for everyone. These steps are simple but crucial. Let's make safety a shared responsibility. Let's take a moment to analyze some common hazards and the risks they pose in our environment. First, imagine standing at the top of a building. The risk here is clear: standing too close to the edge can lead to a fall, which could be extremely dangerous. Next, consider muriatic acid. If mishandled, it can lead to poisoning. Always ensure you are using the proper protective gear and know the safety protocols when dealing with chemicals like these. Now, think about using a hammer. There's a risk of hitting your finger, which can be quite painful. Always be mindful of your hands and maintain a strong grip. Picture a banana on the floor. This might seem trivial, but stepping on it can cause you to slip and fall. It's a simple reminder to keep our workspaces tidy to prevent such incidents. Finally, there's a knife. Using it carelessly can result in cuts. Always use the right technique and handle it responsibly. These everyday objects can become hazards if we're not careful. It's important to recognize these risks so we can take proactive steps to ensure our safety and the safety of others around us. Let's talk about physical hazards. These are agents, factors, or circumstances that can lead to harm, sometimes without direct contact. Imagine something as simple as slipping on a wet floor or working in a poorly lit area. These are everyday examples of physical hazards that might not seem dangerous at first glance, but can have serious consequences. Physical hazards are classified as occupational or environmental hazards. This means they can occur in the workplace or in our broader environment. Think about your own experiences. Have you ever encountered a situation where something seemingly minor became a potential risk? By understanding these hazards, we can take steps to mitigate them and create safer spaces for everyone. Let's explore some common physical hazards that we might encounter in the workplace. First, we have excessive noise. Imagine working in a place where you can't hear the person next to you. Prolonged exposure to loud noises can lead to hearing loss. Next, inadequate illumination can be more than just an inconvenience. Poor lighting can cause eye strain and increase the risk of accidents. Extreme temperature is another concern. Whether it's too hot or too cold, it can significantly affect our health and productivity. Vibration is often overlooked, but it can cause serious health issues, particularly with long-term exposure. Let's not forget about radiation. It's essential to be aware of the sources and minimize exposure. Inadequate ventilation can lead to a buildup of harmful substances in the air. It's important to ensure proper airflow to maintain a safe environment. Finally, ignorance or carelessness of the worker can turn a safe situation into a hazardous one. Remember, being informed and attentive can prevent many accidents. Each of these hazards requires attention and action to ensure safety. Let's talk about chemical hazards. These arise when we inhale chemical agents, whether they're vapors, gases, dust, fumes, or mist, or when our skin comes into contact with such materials. It's crucial to be aware of these hazards because they can be elusive and often go unnoticed until exposure has already occurred. Remember, inhalation and skin contact are primary ways chemicals can affect us. Whether we're in a lab, an industrial setting, or even handling household chemicals, these risks are present. Always use proper protective equipment and follow safety protocols to minimize exposure. By being informed and cautious, we can create a safer environment for everyone. Let's break down some common forms of chemical hazards found in the workplace. First, we have gases. These are substances that remain airborne at room temperature. They're always present in the air around us, which makes them a constant consideration in terms of safety. Next, vapor. This is what we get when liquids evaporate at room temperature. Think about how quickly this can happen in a warm environment, and the potential for inhaling these vapors. It highlights the importance of proper ventilation. Finally, there's dust. This is formed when solid substances are ground, cut, or crushed. Dust can be quite insidious, as it's often invisible but can have serious health implications when inhaled. Understanding these forms of chemical hazards helps us appreciate the need for preventive measures in any environment where they might be present. Let's make sure we're all on the same page regarding these essential safety concepts. Now, let's delve into the 4 possible routes through which chemical hazards can enter our bodies. Understanding these routes is crucial to ensuring our safety. First, inhalation. Breathing in toxic substances is not only the most common route but also the most dangerous. Think about how often we are exposed to vapors, gases, or even dust in various environments. Next, we have ingestion. This occurs when harmful substances enter through our gastrointestinal tract. It's not as common as inhalation, but it's important to be aware of how easily it can happen. Consider scenarios where food might be contaminated or when hands are not washed properly before eating. Have you ever thought about how easily these substances can enter our bodies? As we move forward, the next slide will discuss 2 more routes of entry, absorption and injection. Let's focus on 2 more routes of entry for chemical hazards, absorption and injection. First, absorption. This occurs when toxics pass through the skin and enter the bloodstream. It's crucial to understand how easily certain chemicals can affect us without direct contact through other means, emphasizing the importance of protective clothing and equipment. Next is injection. Although it's the least common route, it's the most direct way for chemicals to enter the body, often through accidental needle sticks or sharp object injuries. While less frequent, the seriousness of this route cannot be understated. Remember, understanding these routes of entry is vital for effective chemical safety management. Let's talk about biological hazards. These are hazards caused by living organisms like insects, molds, fungi, viruses, and bacteria. Now, these hazards often stem from poor sanitation and housekeeping practices. Think about areas such as providing safe drinking water, managing industrial waste and sewage, proper food handling, and even personal cleanliness. These are crucial because when these practices are neglected, we open the door for biological hazards to thrive and potentially harm our health. As we move forward, we'll explore the specific agents of biological hazards and the health problems they can cause. Let's delve into the agents of biological hazards, which are often unseen but impactful. First, we have bacteria. These are simple, one-celled organisms. While some bacteria can be beneficial, others might pose health risks. It's important to understand that not all bacteria are harmful. Some play crucial roles in processes like digestion. Next, viruses. Unlike bacteria, viruses need a host cell to grow and reproduce. This dependency makes them unique and often more challenging to combat, as they can rapidly adapt and change. Lastly, fungi. These can vary greatly in size and form, ranging from small molds to large mushrooms. Fungi can be parasitic, affecting both living and dead organic matter. This versatility means they can thrive in various environments, sometimes leading to health issues. Understanding these agents is the first step in recognizing potential hazards and safeguarding our health. Let's now delve into some common health problems associated with biological hazards. These are quite significant due to their impact on both individuals and communities. First, let's talk about tuberculosis, or TB, which remains a persistent global health challenge. It's a bacterial infection that primarily affects the lungs and is spread through the air. Next, we have tetanus, often known as lockjaw. This is a serious disease caused by bacterial spores found in soil, dust, and animal feces. It's crucial to keep up with vaccinations to prevent this infection. Moving on to viral infections, viral hepatitis is a noteworthy mention. It involves inflammation of the liver and can be caused by different viruses. Most commonly, hepatitis B prevention and early detection are key to managing this condition. Additionally, diseases like upper respiratory tract infection, hepatitis B infection, acquired immunodeficiency syndrome, AIDS, and rabies also pose significant health risks. Each has its own transmission methods and preventive measures. Remember, understanding these diseases helps us take informed actions to protect ourselves and others. Now, let's shift our focus to ergonomic hazards. These are common in many workplaces, and they often stem from things like improperly designed tools or work areas. Imagine lifting, reaching, or even working at a computer in awkward positions day in and day out. These might seem minor, but they can lead to significant fatigue, stress, and strain. Over time, this increases the risk of accidents. It's crucial to understand that these hazards aren't just about physical discomfort. They can impact overall workplace safety and efficiency. Has anyone experienced or seen how poor ergonomics can affect a work environment? In a moment, we'll delve into how ergonomics, as a field of study, seeks to address these issues by designing better tools and workspaces. Let's consider how these improvements can lead to a safer and more productive workplace. Ergonomic hazards can significantly impact both individuals and organizations. Let's take a closer look at some of these effects. First, these hazards can lead to low productivity. Imagine trying to work in an uncomfortable position all day. It's not just tiring, but it also slows you down. Next, there's a high rate of errors. When you're fatigued or stressed from poor ergonomics, mistakes are more likely to occur, which can affect the quality of work and safety. Lastly, consider the material wastage and equipment damage. When errors happen, materials may be wasted, and equipment can be damaged, which is costly for any organization. By understanding these effects, we can appreciate the importance of addressing ergonomic hazards to improve workplace well-being and efficiency. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more awesome videos.